The next book is not a math book. It's the Enuma Elish, the creation myth of the Babylonians, together with the Atrahasis, which is the flood myth of the Babylonians, written by Stephanie. So yeah, the book basically contains those two texts, both the Enuma Elish and the story on how the chief god won against a primeval goddess. And then the story where the gods want to destroy the world, the Atrahasis, and bring a flood to the world, but one person builds an ark and basically gets saved, just like in the biblical flood story. So yes, I am very interested in Babylonian history. I'm very interested into the ancient Middle East, so this is definitely a book I wanted to have for sure. Good translation too, so I really like this one. Next, we have a book by Woodhouse on special relativity. So the book starts from Maxwell's theory and goes on to the propagation of light before it introduces the special theory of relativity. Then goes to Lorentz transformations, relative motion, relative collisions, relativistic electrodynamics, and finally tensors and isometries. The book is kind of a mathematical way of describing things, so the book is quite mature. Not as mature as the book by Niebuhr, but still it takes quite an advanced point of view. Like it starts off in thinking you know the Maxwell equations and deriving the invariance of the speed of light from Maxwell's equations, basically. And that's already like half of the book before it goes on to basically describing special relativity. I like this book. It's a decent book. I don't think I would ever recommend it because there's just better ones. If you're new to special relativity, this book is not good for you. And if you're not new to special relativity, there are better books for you which kind of go over the same thing. Still, it's not bad. The main good thing about this book is that it has a sequel, General Relativity, which basically goes on the same path. Next, we have a book on missing data in clinical studies by Molenberg and Kenworth. It basically is again a book on missing data, and missing data in a lot of different contexts, and how you should think about missing data analysis. It's a decent book. I would, if you're new to the topic, I would recommend this one. Next comes a statistics book I really, really like. It is the book In All Likelihood by Pawitan. And the book is basically about likelihood-based methods, inference using likelihood. And I really like the concept of this book and the way this book does things. So it starts off with likelihood inference, basic models with likelihood inference, frequentist properties, regression models, evidence and the likelihood principle, score function and Fisher information, large sample results, dealing with nuisance parameters, complex data structures, the EM algorithm, robustness of likelihood specification, quasi-likelihood, empirical likelihood, likelihood of random parameters, random and mixed effects model, and non-parametric smoothing. I really like the approach of this book, even though I'm not sure for who it's actually useful. I think it's mostly useful for people who are interested in statistics for its own purpose, like people who are very interested in statistics and the theory of statistics and the philosophy of statistics. People who actually want something practical, like who have a statistical problem they want to solve very quickly and want a method. It's not a good book for them. It just takes too long to get to those kind of things. But yeah, it's more for the mathematical, philosophical side of things. Still, very good book. Highly recommend this one. Next come 4 books I have on yoga. Here we have a standing poses book. We have a book on forward bends. We have a book on twists, and we have a book on inversions. So arm balances and inversions. So this the books are basically all the same. They cover all kinds of poses and how to get in those poses and basically the benefits of those poses and so on. Really good book, a really good set of books if you want to get into yoga. Perhaps not as a beginner though. I don't think I would really recommend kinds of these things as a beginner. Sounds a bit difficult. Looks a bit difficult. But yeah, I mean, these are already the inversion and arm balances, which are not the easiest kind of books. But yeah, definitely good set of books on yoga and how things work. So yeah. Then we have a book on the Sumerians by Kramer. It's basically one of the most well-known book on the culture of the Sumerians. Again, because I'm very interested in this kind of stuff. So it starts with archaeology and decipherment, heroes, kings, and Ensis, which is basically the priest kings. The Sumerian city, theology, rite, and myth, the Sumerian belles lettres, the Sumerian school, drives, motives, and values, and the legacy of Sumer, and all kinds of interesting appendices. So yes, if you want to learn more about the Sumerians, highly recommend this book. Of course, the people who came after the Sumerians were the Akkadians, and this is here a good book on the Akkadians. So this is the Age of Agade, which is a book on Akkadians, and of course the founder of the Akkadian Empire, which is Sargon. So it talks about the rise and fall of the Akkadian Empire, the land and the people of Akkad, Akkadian centers and settlements. It talks about works and days, industries and crafts, religions, statecraft and the military, trade, business and the economy, arts, letters and numeracy, Akkadian human values, the Akkadian period in retrospect, the Akkadian period in modern historiography, and then appendices. So yes, this is probably the best known book on the Akkadian Empire and on the culture of the Akkadians. Very nice book, very scholarly book, so highly recommend this one too. Yeah, basically one of the best books on the topic of the Akkadians and the Akkadian Empire. Next we have a book on ancient Egypt, The Complete Gods and Goddesses of Ancient Egypt by Wilkinson, which is basically a catalog of deities and how they were worshipped and what they stood for. A very nicely illustrated book, very beautiful book. This is a Norma palette. So yeah, beautiful book to work through or to read. It has this very beautiful set of gods. Like if you want to know who a certain god is, like here we have the god Mut, and it talks about iconography, it talks about worship of all the important gods, Nephthys, and so on. Amazing book, which I bought when I visited the British Museum. This is the book I got there, and I don't think I really regretted it. I think it's a very beautiful book. Highly recommend it to everybody. Then comes the big orange book. If you don't know the Big Orange Book, it's big, it's orange, and it's a book. So this is basically Carroll and Ostley, and it's an introduction to modern astrophysics. And it's basically the Bible. It's definitely a thicker the Bible, but it's the Bible on astronomy and astrophysics. And it contains basically everything you need to know of astrophysics before you have to read research papers. So let's go over the topics. Let's go over the celestial sphere, so the coordinates we give to the universe or to the skies. It goes over it very briefly. I think knowing some spherical trigonometry would definitely be useful before doing this book. It's celestial mechanics, continuous spectrum of light, theory of special relativity, the intersection of light and matter, telescopes, then goes over the nature of stars, binary system and stellar parameters, the classification of stellar spectra, stellar atmospheres, interiors of stars, the sun, the interstellar medium and star formation, main sequence and post-main sequence stellar evolution, stellar pulsation, fate of massive stars, degenerate remnants of stars, so it's already 500 pages in, general relativity and black holes, closed binary star system, then a piece on the solar system, physical processes, the terrestrial planets, the realms of the giant planets, minor bodies, and formation of planetary systems. Finally, galaxies and the universe, the Milky Way galaxy, nature of galaxies, galactical evolution, the structure of the universe, active galaxies, cosmology, and the early universe, and then a lot of very beautiful appendices. So amazing book. It really contains a lot of information on how to do things. I don't think it should be your first book. I think it's too terse to be a first book. I think it's a very good book that basically links everything together that maybe you've already studied in other places. Like it does general relativity, it needs quantum mechanics and all that stuff to really be a book that you can get a lot out of. But definitely a beautiful book. Highly recommend this book to anybody who is interested in astronomy. I think this is the book you want. But yeah, it just contains so much good stuff. But I think people do recommend this for beginners, but I don't think I would want to recommend this for beginners. But yeah.